Now, guys, for you to study in Switzerland, you should understand that first, you need to hold enough money in order to study in this country. This is not a country that they want liabilities. Now, how much do you have to show? Before I talked about how much you have to show, remember that the cost of living in Switzerland is 30 Swiss franc a day. And when you are applying to universities, target public universities because private universities are usually very expensive. And when you are doing your calculations for the money you need as proof of funds, you shouldn't include your tuition fee because you must have paid your fees before you are applying for the visa. Now, the cost of living in Switzerland is 30 Swiss franc per day, and multiplying this by year, you are going to get like 21,000 Swiss franc, which is equivalent to like $21,000. All right, you need to put this into consideration. Your bank account must have this, and remember, as an adult, you must have a bank account in your name with all supporting documents. Or you follow the other methods you are going to watch in this video. They are very, very important. Please pay attention to this. Remember, if you are putting this money in a bank in Switzerland, which is the method I would suggest you do, then you should note that you are using the FEMA approved banks only. These are the banks that are recognized by the Swiss embassy. When you put this money, the banks are going to give you the necessary documents you need in order to apply for the visa. So now, watch the remaining video so you understand exactly the documents you need and all the other details you need for Cameroonians, Central Africans, and Equatorial Guineans, all right, people from Central African Republic. If you must apply for a long stay visa, there are documents you need to submit, all right. I'm going to be talking about some of the documents, and I have my jotter over here that I will be checking out, and these requirements are coming from the Swiss embassy's website, all right. They say long stay visa procedures type D for studies. Any person applying for a short stay visa should make an appointment on Yaoundé this. On appointment day, the applicant must personally report to the consular office. 1. He or she must have a file comprising one visa application form, D type visa, duly and legally filled, dated, signed by the applicant. That's the file. Then in that same file, there must be 3 recent identical passport size photographs, passport with a validity exceeding 3 months after expected date of entry in Switzerland. Then this is now for the first file. Then and 2 copies of each of the following documents in order, arranged in 2 booklets. 1 visa application form D type, put in and signed by the applicant. So you must fill the form, sign it clean and clear. A photocopy of the passport, a confirmation of enrollment letter from the school in Switzerland or university, a confirmation of payment of tuition fee, because you already know most schools in Switzerland will ask you for a first deposit, right? So when you finish, you have to pay part of your tuition fee. It is very, very important. Then proof of sufficient funds for the duration of the studies under the terms of art. I'm going to explain more about the proof of funds, but these are the options you can submit: a statement of commitment as well as the evidence of income or wealth of the credit worthy person residing in Switzerland. So you can use someone in Switzerland and submit his bank statements or details. All right, I mentioned that. A confirmation of a bank recognized in Switzerland that can certify the existence of sufficient assets values. So it's either you open your account with a bank in Switzerland that can certify that you have enough money. A firm and sufficient guarantee for the granting of scholarship. If you have a scholarship, then you are good to go. It's not a big problem. All right. So these are the 3 options when it comes to proof of funds for Switzerland. Please pay attention to it. It is very important. Somebody residing in Switzerland or a bank residing in Switzerland. So these are the options. Now, for the confirmation regarding funds can be obtained directly by the Cantonian Migration Office Service of the that's if you want to get the confirmation of the funds, you have to collect the bank statement or the details from the canton in which you reside in Switzerland or in which the person resides in Switzerland. Then in that same file, you have a detailed CV. You have photocopies of school certificates and diplomas, a comprehensive study plan including syllabus, the target, the desired outcome, and the overall duration of your studies. Then you also have a handwritten explanation. You are more explaining your motivation, which are the reasons you have opted for education in Switzerland and your projects on the completion of your studies. Now, you have to be very strategic here. They are asking you to write a motivation, which means that after you write this motivation, you must be able to explain to them that after you finish your program in Switzerland, you have to return back. And you are not just returning back, you have to explain how the program is going to help you better your economy and why you want to study the program. All right, these are the documents. They are clear and very visible. When submitting the visa form, the embassy reserves the right to assess the application's language proficiency. So if you are going for a bachelor's program in English language or a master's program in English language, you at least having the IELTS is advantage. But now, if you do not have, the embassy has to conduct a language test on you. It's very important. So please put this into consideration. Then, the production of the documents and required information does not determine the Swiss authorities' final decision. The said decision to grant the appropriate authorization is at their discretion. Visa application must be submitted at the least 3 months before the start of classes. So you have to be fast when submitting your visa application. So these are the details. Then for proof of funds, you have to verify how much you need. I'm equally going to find out more about that. Then I will explain to you in a better video. Now, there are a lot of schools in Switzerland which are not very expensive. If you are looking at studies in Switzerland, then you have to consider some of these cheaper universities: a University of Basel, a University of Lausanne, all right, a University of Zurich. That is a university. If you are a science-oriented student, then you should look at the University of Zurich. They have good programs for engineers. They have also great programs for social management, social sciences. All right, they do have. Remember to arrange the documents well so that you submit. This is for those that are applying from Cameroon, all right, Central African Republics, Equatorial Guineans, people from Central Africa, Equatorial Guineans, and Cameroonians. These are the three. All right, then you go to the embassy on the day of your appointment. Now, for proof of funds, how much you need, we are going to verify. So, in the process of studies in Switzerland, if you are an international student and you intend to migrate to Switzerland from Cameroon, then or from other African countries, then you should understand that you need a visa. All right, the visa you need is a long stay visa or a national visa. Of course, those that need a long stay visa, which is a visa for more than 90 days, are those that are from Cameroon or from countries that are not in the EU. Like, for example, Cameroonians need a long stay visa. People from Central African Republic and people from Equatorial Guinea, all right, Equatorial Guinea also need a visa. Now, remember, this is for national visas. This is for long stay visas. You must hold this visa before you can enter into Switzerland. This also applies to other nationalities from Africa. And today's video, I just want to talk about how you can apply for a study visa. This relates to people from Cameroon, Central African Republic, and Equatorial Guinea, because you are going to be applying from the Swiss embassy in Yaoundé. All right, the Swiss embassy is located at Quartier Bastos. Now, you need to also understand that holders of a diplomatic or service passport are exempted from visa requirements, all right, if they travel to Switzerland to take up their duties. So this is something you should know. Now, let's look at it. How do you apply for a national visa to Switzerland? First, you need to have an admissions letter, because it all depends. If you are moving to Switzerland on the cases of an offer letter, or if you want to go through a university, then you must get an admissions letter first. Then, if you are not obliged to hold a visa, you are allowed to enter Switzerland without a visa. However, you are obliged to register within 14 days on arrival in Switzerland at the competent cantonal authority. Remember, I have always said that in Switzerland, they don't have they mostly have cantons, and the cantons are like maybe various sections. You go to this section, they speak a different language. Like in Bern, Zurich, Geneva, and so many other places, they speak different languages. Some areas speak Italian, some people French, some English, you understand. So that's what I mean. Now we are going to look at the documents that you need to apply for a national visa. We are going to look at so many other things. I also want to touch on the information like which the fees and everything that you need. Now, first of all, let's take a look at the fees you are going to be submitting, because I'm dealing directly from the embassy's website. Now, in the case when you already have your offer letter, you all need to book an appointment at the level of the embassy. Remember, you must book an appointment. There is an appointment link on the website of the Swiss embassy in Bastos. The embassy is found in Yaoundé. Those of you that are resident in Cameroon, you have to book from the Embassy of Switzerland in Yaoundé. Those that are resident in Central African Republic, you have to book from the Embassy of Switzerland in Yaoundé. And those that are resident in Equatorial Guinea, you have to book from the Embassy of Switzerland in Cameroon. That is the only place you can apply for a national D type visa. All right, Cameroonians, you are not going again to Nigeria. Now, let's take a look at what requirements you need to apply for the national visa, because every visa has a requirement you need to meet in order to submit the visa application, right? Yeah, so let's look at it. Now, there are 5 requirements. The very first requirement is your visa application form. We are going to look at that in detail. Then the second requirement is documentation to submit with a national visa application. We are going to look at that in detail. Then you have a photograph quality. We are going to look at that. Then you have proof of language skills for family reunification, and of course the processing of the application. Now let's take a look at the visa application form. The visa application form is in 3 different types. You have the English / the German version, you have the English or French, then other languages. Then in this case, this is for the same application, that's visa application form. Then let's take a look at the documents you are going to submit. For the documents you are going to submit, well, there is a PDF document here, a PDF file here that you need to download the file, because there are various documents inside. In this case, you are going to know what are the documents like proof of funds and other things you need. All right.